Hello everyone, welcome back again to Liverpool Report today. We've got the latest updates on our beloved club Liverpool. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of Liverpool Report news. Let's get started. Luis Diaz has not been in prolific form for Liverpool recently, but the forward did net 2 goals and provide an assist in Colombia's World Cup qualifiers against Brazil and Paraguay this month. Liverpool fans are convinced that Luis Diaz plays better when he is away on international duty with Colombia than when he is in action for his club. Diaz scored in both of Colombia's World Cup qualifying matches this month and also notched an assist. Colombia suffered a 2-1 defeat to Brazil on Friday and drew 2-2 with Paraguay on Wednesday. However, Diaz has never been a prolific goalscorer for Liverpool and has never hit double figures in the league. After scoring 5 goals in his first 5 league games this season, Diaz has managed just 4 in the next 25. Luis Diaz playing for his club versus playing for his country feels like 2 different players altogether, wrote one Reds supporter. Another said, "So Luis Diaz can score in the first minute for country and can't do that for the club." A third wrote, "He's scoring for the national team but wants a new, better contract with Liverpool FC. Makes sense." Another added, "Now watch him turn into Jadon Sancho in these last 9 games of the season for us. I challenge him to score more than 5 goals, and I'll gift a Liverpool fan the new LFC kit for next season." Diaz has been heavily linked with a move away from Anfield in the summer, with Barcelona holding a long-standing interest in the winger. However, the 28-year-old suggested earlier this month that he is planning to remain at Liverpool. When asked about the fact that he is now the 4th highest scoring Colombian in Premier League history, behind Juan Pablo Angel, Hamilton Ricard and Hugo Rodallega, Diaz told club media, "Now and again I find out about the stats when people post them on social media, but how nice it is to be getting close to such great fellow Colombian players like Hugo, Rodallega and all the others. It's a real pleasure for me to be right there close behind them, and I realise that maybe I will catch them at some point. You could say that it's another one of those personal targets that I have. I know that things are going well for me and I'm in decent form. What I want the most is to keep making history, and, first and foremost, that Colombians who come over to England to play really leave their mark. That's key for us all now, to give a positive image of our country, just like they all did." Now, those of us here are trying to do just that. I'm very happy with that, and we hope to continue doing the same things in future. With 9 Premier League match days remaining, Liverpool know full well what they need to do. However, Arneslot's side have some matters to take care of off the pitch as well as on it. A pair of defeats just before the international break has simplified the Reds' task, albeit not in a way they would have liked. After Paris Saint-Germain ended their Champions League hopes, Slot's team were beaten by Newcastle in the Carabao Cup final. That leaves the Premier League as the one remaining trophy in their sights. They remain firm favourites though, returning from the break with a 12-point lead over challengers Arsenal. Regardless of how the season finishes, we'll soon have an answer on the future of 3 senior Liverpool stars. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk are all out of contract in the summer, and none of the 3 have confirmed whether they're extending their stay or leaving on a free. With other transfer deals to consider, it will be a busy few months on and off the pitch. Here, Liverpool Report takes a closer look at the best case and worst case scenarios. First things first, we shouldn't overlook how significant a title win would be just because of the other setbacks. If Liverpool get the job done, it would be their first league title in 5 years and just their second in the Premier League era. Not just that, it would represent a dream start for Arne Slot. The Dutch manager is just 12 points shy of Jurgen Klopp's final season return, despite barely making any changes to the squad. Victory in the Merseyside derby on April 2nd ought to help Liverpool put the double cup disappointment behind them. It's easy to forget Slot's men have lost just once in the league all season, but they can't afford to take their foot off the gas. Slot will also hope to welcome back some injured stars before the end of the season. Alisson and Ryan Gravenberch are both in contention to feature against Everton despite scares, while Joe Gomez, Conor Bradley and Trent Alexander-Arnold have a little longer on the sidelines. Speaking of Alexander-Arnold, the right-back is one of 3 big hitters whose future still needs to be decided. While he looks less likely than Salah and Van Dijk to stick around, there is still a chance all 3 sign new deals. Another new signing is already on the way. with Georgi Mamardashvili on his way in the summer. By the time the Georgia goalkeeper arrives, things may well be looking up once more. Indeed, progress has also been made in other areas. A new left-back in the form of Milos Kerkez to go along with all that other positive news? That certainly sounds like the dream. Let's start with those contracts. Losing Salah, Van Dijk and Alexander-Arnold in the same window would be a painful blow in any circumstances, let alone one where the club receives no money for any of them. A triple exit would force Liverpool's transfer chiefs into rapid action, and the quiet progress in the summer of 2024 isn't exactly cause for optimism. The Reds will no doubt have explored options at right-back, centre-back and attack, but getting those deals over the line is another matter. What's more, Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk and Salah aren't the only stars linked with exits. There has been interest in first-choice keeper Alisson, while the Reds may be forced to entertain offers for Ibrahima Konate if he enters the final year of his contract with no progress. Failure to win the Premier League title, meanwhile, doesn't bear thinking about. Manchester United were 11 points clear at this stage of their collapse in 1998, compared to 12 for Liverpool this term. But Arsenal had multiple games in hand during that 1998 comeback. "I know how it works," Slot said in a new book. "If you don't pick up trophies as a manager or as a player, it can haunt you for decades." There are different ways to be remembered. Look at the Holland team in the 1974 World Cup. Everyone saw that World Cup as the tournament where Holland came out as winners. But they didn't come home with the cup. It was about their style of play. Even if Arsenal win all 9 of their games, a return of 16 points from 9 outings would be enough for Liverpool. If they fail to do that, then it could take them years to recover. Trent Alexander-Arnold has agreed to join Real Madrid on a free transfer this summer, it's claimed. The Liverpool star is out of contract at the end of the season, and Madrid view him as the long-term replacement for vice-captain Dani Carvajal. Madrid did have a £20 million offer rejected by Liverpool in the January transfer window, with the Reds deciding to keep hold of Alexander-Arnold for at least the remainder of the current campaign. There were hopes that they could convince him to commit his future to Liverpool, but the England international is set for a move to Spain. According to a report from Sky Sports Switzerland, he has finally agreed personal terms with Madrid after protracted negotiations. It is claimed that Alexander-Arnold is set to put pen to paper on a lucrative 5-year deal worth around £12.5 million a year, with the 26-year-old also set to bank a signing bonus that is described as equivalent to a reasonable transfer fee. It's suggested that Liverpool boss Arneslot wants Bayer Leverkusen star Jeremiafrimpong to replace Alexander-Arnold. It is claimed Slot has made direct contact with Frimpong's representatives over the phone, with both parties in regular discussion. Leverkusen are said to value Frimpong at around £42 million, and Liverpool are preparing an initial offer in this range to test Leverkusen's resolve. The report also notes that the player is interested in a move to Anfield. Alexander-Arnold, meanwhile, is currently focused on recovering from an ankle injury that he picked up as Liverpool crashed out of the Champions League against Paris Saint-Germain earlier this month. He was left out of Thomas Tuchel's first England squad as a result, but Slot remains hopeful Alexander-Arnold will be back in action before the end of the season. Speaking before Liverpool's Carabao Cup final defeat to Newcastle, he said Trent is not available. He will not be at the final, but he is still to be assessed for how it is going to take. We do expect him back before the end of the season. Liverpool currently sit 12 points clear at the top of the Premier League with 9 games remaining, and Alexander-Arnold will be hoping to end on a high by lifting the trophy for a second time. "Every game is almost like a final now," Alexander-Arnold told CNN Sports, "because a certain other team look like they're clicking into gear, which means it's going to go down to the wire as usual, which means every game is a must-win. As simple as that. That's the way you want it. You want to get pushed, and you want to push yourself as far and as hard as you can, and test yourself to the limits. Every single game is a must-win. Even a draw feels like a loss, no matter the context of it.